Learn about OpenVPN, Private Tunnel, the Tor browser, virtual private networks, proxy tunnelings, your security, and what you can do about it. This is TQA Weekly. I'm your host, Steve Smith, aka Z-Axis, and yes, you may call me that. And today's show notes will be held at tqaweekly.com/SE3EP04. Now, as per request of one of the viewers of my show, we are going to be talking about OpenVPN. The unfortunate thing is I was going to set up an instructional until I actually went through the whole thing, and you know what? I'll get into it right now. So OpenVPN, aka OpenVPN Technologies, was founded by Francis Dina and James Yohan in 2002 and is a privately held company based out of Pleasanton, California. An application or tool that helps you secure your data from supposedly man-in-the-middle attacks and other threats such as basically malware, malicious attacks, and basically having people looking at what you are doing on the internet. So I've done testing. So if I don't do testing, I don't come up with the content of my show. That's just basically what it is. You give me a software application, I will test it. If I like it, I will show you. If I don't, I will tell you why. Now, OpenVPN is good for advanced users. If you can follow instructions and actually do everything right from their website and their community forums, you can get the application running. I am specifically referring to their OpenVPN server and client. Now, under the Windows environment, there are a few things that are missing. It actually doesn't state that you should be pressing the Start button, going into the accessories under All Programs, right-clicking the command prompt, and actually indicating that you want to run the command prompt as administrator. None of their commands work if you're not running the command prompt as administrator. As for the instructions for writing your batch file, that .bat, you cannot save to program files under Windows Vista or 7 with UAC turned on. What you can do though is save it to your documents, copy and paste it manually after you're done that batch file into the correct folder to run under the command prompt that you have just ran as administrator. Just a pointed fact. You need to be very careful what you do under a command prompt running as administrator, since none of those protective holds will actually be on. So just a few details. Under Linux, there is a ton of commands that you need to do, and it does not always work. So here is a basic thing. So while it is for the advanced user, and you basically have all this, there's another detail you need to think on top of that. Most people will not modify their router and therefore not be able to connect to the OpenVPN server within their home environment while they're in their cafe, mainly because you won't know your IP or that you had to put a hole in the security of your home network in your router. So, knowing that there are all that work around it, that your router has to be opened up so that you can connect from the outside world into your connection so that you can privatize your signal to make you a little bit more secure, although technically I don't believe you are. That's more details. How about another one? Mathematics. 1 + 1 = 2. For every byte that you wish to see remotely, that byte has to travel into your network and out of your network from the server in order to be considered secure. Well, for every 100 megs that you're going to view remotely, you're going to be spending 200 megs of your in-home data. If you have a ton of data and you don't care, fine. If you don't have that much data, don't do this. They have another much more worthwhile solution called Private Tunnel. Private Tunnel by OpenVPN can be accessed at privatetunnel.com. This will do everything most of you want to do, which is offer a supposedly secured connection outside of your home that allows you to maintain supposedly your privacy in places such as free Wi-Fi in cafes and McDonald's and whatever. And there are a few more catches with this program. You only get 100 megs for free. You can get 10 gigs for free if you have friends or family or referrals that pay for it. I have not seen it work yet, but we'll see. And basically, of course, this program takes less than 5 minutes to install on my machines. It's very easy to use, register, log in, that's it. A lot better than the OpenVPN client and server, and you're only paying for one set of bandwidth this time, as long as you're using it outside your house. If you're using it inside your house and you pass the 100 megs, you'll be paying twice for your bandwidth, which, let's be honest, economically, that is a waste of your money. So what do? We got a program private tunnel that you can only use outside, otherwise you're paying twice for your bandwidth. We got an application has too many instructions for a normal user. I'm going to suggest the Tor browser bundle. If you're going to go and connect from outside your home, use a Tor browser bundle. You download, you open and extract everything, and then you run your Aurora browser. Everybody can figure this one out. Everything's already pre-compiled and very easy to use. Works in Linux and in Windows and other platforms. So download that instead. Now, let's talk about VPNs, proxies, tunnels, and all that, and dispel many myths. Man-in-the-middle attack is when a person intercepts your communication and actually takes over your connection or actually attempts to become you on the internet. That's not really hard to do. Actually, it's not even impossible. In a cafe, you can use a AP device, wireless access point, and simulate being the actual router. And if that actual device is closer to you or has a stronger signal than the actual router, your connection may very well believe that that's the actual connection you're supposed to connect to, and all your information will be acquired by them. So any passwords and emails and information, even while you're trying to go onto websites that have their own SSL, will be, at this point, having their handshake go through this access point, compromising the integrity of your communication. Whether you're using tunneling software, a VPN, or other types of proxies, doesn't matter. You'll still be visible. Websites can be poisoned, and because you have to bounce off various servers, if any of these servers are poisoned, that is another possible man-in-the-middle attack. How about another one? You can't actually be protected from criminals trying to steal your privacy, your information, if you are subject to that kind of man-in-the-middle attack. That is just a fact. You cannot be protected from malicious attacks since the connection will eventually come back to you, because all the website information that you're trying to access is able to come back to you, so they can come to you. And here's the thing, if a website is poisoned or infected with malware, you are subject to infections of malware on the internet, whether you were using a tunnel, a proxy, or a VPN. So I just want you to keep these things in mind. You are never as safe as you believe on the internet, and I want you to remember that very well. None of this technology could possibly protect you 100% of the time, all the time. There's only one instance in your whole history of using them where you get one person to actually sniff your connection and you're out. That's basically it. Make sure all your passwords are different and make sure you don't do anything that can be compromising on those types of connections. If you want to buy anything, go to your bank or anything on the internet, I severely suggest you never run it from Wi-Fi. Always use your cellular or your home internet services, and always buy it where basically your credit card's name is, or where your credit card company or banks know you are there. If you were to buy something through, let's say, Tor, and you show up as being in Sweden, you buy something from the US, you live in Montreal, and you ship it to another place in Canada or the US, let's say legitimately giving it to one of your cousins or brothers and sisters and whatever, that communication, that purchase will be flagged and it will cause you a lot more headaches. Now, if you think that actually scares some of you, I'm going to be talking about WPS. So, Wi-Fi protected setup. And you know what? I'm going to try to make sure that you understand just how dangerous WPS is. In fact, if I do it correctly and you actually understand just how dangerous WPS is, you're going to be turning it off. And if you can't, you can be buying a brand new router, and I will give you suggestions of routers you can use that will not have WPS enforced 100% of the time. So come back next week to learn about WPS and what you can do to protect yourself. Remember to like this episode if you're interested in today's topic, share if you think somebody else could actually learn something from this, or subscribe if you wish to learn more. For the show notes of this episode and others, for more information on how to subscribe to the show, our newsletter, and how to participate by giving me your questions, comments, suggestions, and or stories, head over to TQAweekly.com. Have a great day, stay safe and online.